Good evening, good afternoon, everyone, on this hot day in Kansas City. Yes, if you're listening to a recording, it may be cold, but when it's live right now in June, it is very, very warm in Kansas City. This has been a very hot day, and well, you know, it's summertime in Kansas City, so it's to be expected. It's not totally something that we haven't had before. So it's just a day that we've got to go through. But I've enjoyed it. We've got a little bit of air conditioning working in here. It's not as hot as it is outside. I haven't been in the studio long, so the temperature hasn't dropped a lot. But it is better than outside right now. But we want to welcome you to the BFTAA and More show. I am your host, Louis George Walker, coming to you live and in living color from the KUAW radio studios located in the WEB Du Bois Learning Center at 4510 East Linwood Boulevard, Kansas City, Missouri. So yes, we're right down here and we're having a great time at the station today. A lot of things are going on in Kansas City. A lot of things are coming up. We've got some events that the Black Family Technology Awareness Association would be a part of, and we're going to tell you about those. But right now, we want to say that you can listen to us. If you're listening to us right now, and if you want to tell somebody how to listen to us, when we're live, broadcasting live, you can pick us up on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. And I got to get the Twitter site going right now. Matter of fact, I usually will link that over to our Twitter account. So let me do that and tell you that you can pick us up, the BFTAA and More show, and other shows of KUAW on those locations. We're on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. So we're getting out there. You can also go right to our webpage, www.kuaw.org. Pick us up there and see some of the links that we're on. Now, we broadcast 24 hours a day on the audio side. So we're broadcasting news, information, stories, and music throughout the day, 24 hours a day. There's always something on KUAW radio. And you can pick those audio sites up on the Get Me Radio app. If you have that, if you've got a Bluetooth speaker in your car, you can link it to your phone and pull up Get Me Radio, the TuneIn app, the online radio box, My Radio Tuner, Radio Garden, any of those sites you can pull up and you can actually hear and play KUAW over your car speakers or your house speakers or wherever you may be. Also, if you have Roku or Amazon or Fire Stick, you can pick us up there. Just go there and search KUAW Radio. We're also on STEM City, USA. So there's a lot of sites that you can pick up the KUAW sound, and we're glad that we're doing it. If you have a smart speaker like an Amazon or a Google, tell it to play KUAW and you'll get it. If you're in Kansas City, especially in the historic jazz area of 18th and Vine, we broadcast over KOJH 100.5 FM. That's 100.5 FM in the Kansas City area. So there's a lot of ways that you can listen to us. We hope that you would tune in often and tell some of your friends about this station that is giving you news and information, entertainment, and much, much more right here. This is KUAW Radio. All right, so one of the things I want to let you know is that there's a couple of things that are happening in the city that BFTAA will be a part of. One of those is the Juneteenth celebration, which had to be rescheduled for the city of Kansas City. Their employee resource group asset is having, and that's going to be going on the 27th, Thursday. Thursday down at the Kansas City, well, in the square between the City Hall and the federal court building, and right across from the police station there, where all those government offices are, the Jackson County Courthouse and all of them, in that square downtown from, I believe it's 11 until 2. From 11 until 2, come down to the square. We're going to be there showing some of our robotics and the things that we do for kids, and to get more kids and parents involved in our robotics program. And there'll be a lot of entertainment. They have singers. They have a lot of things that go on. And Juneteenth is one day, but we can celebrate our freedom 365 days of the year after what our ancestors had to go through. So we've got another day that there will be a celebration downtown, and it's going to be in honor of Juneteenth, and that's going to be happening June the 27th. It's going to be downtown Kansas City, Missouri, 12th and Oak, between Oak and, I'm not sure what that other street, McGee, I believe, between Oak and McGee on 12th Street. There's a park there, Ilis Davis Park, Ilis W. Davis Park, and we're going to be there set up. I've got a new thing I'm doing with my Spiro remote control robot that I want to work on tonight and tomorrow, and try and get it all set up so that we can show it running for people to come by to see how we teach kids about coding and stuff. We're also looking at getting some more drones and to fly. That's going to be a thing that we'll have, along with information about the Black Family Technology Awareness Association. So get in touch with us if you want more information. You can always hit us up on Facebook, on YouTube. To get us on Facebook, just go to KUAW-radio, or you can go to the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, that's dash BFTAA. Put either of those in, and you can pick us up on Facebook. We can give you more information about the events that will be happening downtown Kansas City on Thursday. Then on Saturday, once again, we're going to be returning downtown to the Bartle Hall for Kids Tech Day. Yes, there's going to be a Kids Tech Day that is open to children. I think they said they have a $1 ticket that is 100% refundable if you use the code that is on the website. So it costs $1 to get in per child, but that is refundable. You can get a free ticket if you use the code and save yourself the buck. So be sure and come down to Kids Tech Day. That's going to be going on from 10 until, I believe it's 3 or 4 o'clock. It's like all day Saturday at the Bartle Hall. So we're going to be down there, and that's going to be a fun time. There's a lot of organizations that will be there. It's part of, or it's at the end of the Kansas City Developers Conference, which will be going on this week. But after that conference, they turn the hall over to Kids Tech Day. So Kids Tech Day will be going on, and we hope that you will bring your young people down to it. It's $1, but if you go online to WeCodeKC and look up Kids Tech Day, you can get a code where you can get in absolutely free. Absolutely free, no cost. So check it out and see about coming down this Saturday to Bartle Hall in Kansas City. Bring your kids down. Let them see a lot of the different groups that are doing things. And you may want to get involved or get your child enrolled in a course or in a class, or get some information so you can contact the organizations later to be involved in what they are doing. So those are a couple of things that are going on this week in Kansas City that the Black Family Technology Awareness Association will be taking part in. So we're so glad to tell you about it, and hopefully that you can come down, say hello. We'll be glad to see you down there. All right. So we're going to transition now into something else that's going on. As part of our 20-year celebration, one of the things the Black Family Technology Awareness Association is doing, that I'm going to be leading, me and Raphael Prevost. We're going to enter the MR 340 race. The Missouri 340 is a race. This is their 19th year of a race, a canoe and stand-up paddleboard and kayak race from KUAW Point and on the Missouri and Kansas River to St. Louis, Missouri, 340 miles. So we're entering it. I'm going to be in it in a kayak, and a friend of mine, Raphael, is going to be in it. We're representing BFTAA and KUAW radio. This is our first time entering this event, and we're looking forward to making it down there. It's an 86-hour event. Although you can go as fast or as slow, well, not as slow as you want, you can go as fast as you want. I looked at the record, is somebody finished it in 36 hours, which is really cutting it pretty good if you can go 340 miles paddling down the river in 36 hours or 38 hours or 40 hours, which is less than 2 days, and that's pretty good. But we're going to be on the river. I want you to come down. You can come down and see us off at KUAW Point. We're going to leave on July the 23rd. Yeah, July the 23rd, which is a Tuesday. We'll be leaving, and we should be in St. Louis on July the 26th. So if you want to come to KUAW Point Park and wish us well, see us off as we leave in our canoes, heading and kayaks. I'm going to be in a kayak myself. Some people even do it on a stand-up paddleboard, and I think that's really going some distance if you can stand up and paddle 340 miles. But there are people that do it, and we're going to all be out on the river. I think they had close to 500 people. I'm going to show you a clip from that event. I think I have that up here to show you what we're planning on doing or what we're going to be a part of. Let's see if that is ready, and we will get it up here. That's not it. I'll find the play here. I think this is it. Okay, yeah, we're going to get ready to bring this to you. So let's get ready for the oops. Let's try this again. All right, here we go.
Welcome everybody to the MR 340.
2022 marks the 17th year for the MR 340. Nearly 500 boats set out to attempt the grueling 340 miles this year. And every year the race attracts paddlers from dozens of states and several countries.
All over the globe, people have come to race the Missouri River, which is awesome.
But it all began as an idea scribbled on some paper by race founder Scott Mansker.
Probably for about 10 years before 2006, I just had this idea on a legal pad, right? Just, why is there not a canoe race on the Missouri River? We have the perfect place to start it, and we got all these towns, checkpoint to checkpoint. Why isn't anybody putting this together? And then finally in 2006, I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna go until I hit a brick wall. I don't know how to put on a race, but I'm just gonna go until I can't figure it out.
It's the longest nonstop paddling race in the world, and it's grown into the massive event we see today.
The first year we only had 11 boats. The next year I capped it at 75 because I thought, well, we can't even fit 75 boats at KUAW Point, can we? I mean, is there room for 75 boats? So we metered that growth. And so, then you go to 150. Well, okay, that worked. Let's try 300. Okay, well, 300 worked. Well, where does this, and we kind of feel like 500 is sort of where we reach a limit of sorts.
Mansker fell in love with this river more than 30 years ago.
The first time I ever got on the Missouri River was in '89 on a homemade raft that me and some friends built as 20-year-old college kids, and put it in and just drifted down the river for 5 days, and I was absolutely hooked. I mean, it was all I could think about.
And since then, he's found ways to spread that love across Kansas City and through the MR340 around the world.
You know, we're all about getting people to understand and make contact with the Missouri River, whatever that looks like, paddling, helping clean it up, fishing.
This is the first race where he didn't serve as race director. Instead, he helps coordinate safety boats now.
It's the best possible retirement you could want, like, because they haven't kicked me out.
As the nonprofit Missouri River Relief fully takes over the reins.
Do a lot of, you know, late night chats right here at KUAW Point the night before races over the years. We finally figured out a way for it to make sense. And now I feel like the race is in the best hands it could be in.
They have the resources to make this race a permanent fixture of our city and of the Missouri River.
This race will be happening long after I'm gone, and that's really gratifying to know that.
Look, I'll cut the malarkey.
That's what we're going to be out there doing come July the 23rd. So if you come down to KUAW Point on the Missouri-Kansas River where the KUAW and the Missouri meet, there's a park there. Come down to the KUAW Point Park and you can see the BFTAA team off. I've got a ground crew, my wife, my granddaughter that are going to be working with us. We're pulling out of here with the first shift in the morning, and hopefully in 4 days, by Friday, we're touching base in St. Louis. I want to be there Friday morning because I got a family reunion going on that same day, starting that evening. So we're going to finish it up, and then we're going to get back here and celebrate with family. But BFTAA has been around for 20 years, and not by doing what everybody else does or doing what is easy, but by doing things that are beneficial to others and to ourselves. So we want to call attention to what the Black Family Technology Awareness Association does here in Kansas City, and that's what we're going to be doing down there at KUAW Point. There's a lot of organizations that have supported us throughout the years, that have helped, a lot of volunteers that have worked with us, and there's been a lot of kids that we have worked with. So we're going out on the river in thought of all of them for the 20th year of the BFTAA's work. This will be our first year, and hopefully not our last year, of doing the Missouri 340. Yeah, the 340. The river is also a part of STEM because the river, the water, the current, the flow of the river and all that is a scientific marvel. It's a thing that helps sustain life. You know, our waterways, and we have to know how to protect them, and we have to try and keep them clean because that's our life. If water is not here, if we don't have clean water on the earth, all of us will perish. So one of the things we need to be involved in is a lot of river and stream restoration. Just like out at Brush Creek, they've done some work on it, but there's more work that should be done on Brush Creek. That should be a stream that you could go down it in a kayak or a canoe, that we could work on creating a waterway through Missouri or through Kansas City. The Blue River that cuts through Swope Park, comes around Bannisters. That should be something that we're all aware of. A lot of people don't know the Blue River is even there. So the Little Blue, the Blue River, we have waterways here in the Kansas City area that we should be taking care of, that we should be aware of, making sure that they're clean and that they are sustaining life, you know, that they're not polluted, that they're not creating more of a hazard than they are of doing something that is positive for life here in Kansas City. So we need to get involved in river work, river cleanup, river exploration, and learning more about that. And there are jobs and careers in that. There's hydrologists. As you talk about science, technology, engineering, math, well, working on that river, getting the rivers in shape, building bridges, all of that, that is a part of STEM. That's a part of the science that's there. So we need to be about it and stuff. The wildlife that is there, preserving that. All of this is part of STEM, and it's not just about computers. So I want you to come down and help me get started and cheer me on. You can come down and stop at any stops. I think our first overnight stop is supposed to be in Waverly, Missouri. That's about 78 miles, so that's only an hour and a half or so from Kansas City. So if you want to wait and meet us to cheer us on at Waverly, Missouri, we'll be glad to see you. So if there's a map, there's also an app that you'll be able to download called Race Owl, and I'll see about putting that up, getting that out to you guys, because anybody that's using that app can actually watch the progress of the boats down the river. So our boat number, the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, is going to be boat 2004 for the year that we started. The year that we were founded was in 2004. So boat 2004 is going to be the Black Family Technology Awareness boat. I'm put some letters on it, BFTAA, and have that out there. So if you want to be a part of supporting the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, download the Race Owl app, and I'll have that here in the next couple weeks before we get ready to go. But download that app, and you'll be able to follow that boat. You can look for that 2004, those numbers, and you'll actually see them according to where my cell phone is as I go down the river. You'll be able to track boat 2004. So that's going to be a fun time this summer, and I hope that a lot of you will follow us, hit us up on it, support us in this journey. We definitely can use any support that you're willing to give. If you have a monetary donation that you want to make towards our river run, you can contact the Black Family Technology Awareness Association, or just make a donation. Go to the Black Family Technology Awareness Association's Facebook page, and you can donate there. And in the donation, put MR340 race, that you're supporting our efforts on the Missouri River 340 race. So, and next year, as we get ready, we're going to actually be a part of the fundraising. We were part of the fundraising this year, but what we had to do was just pay $200 fundraising along with our $75 entry fee to get in. So we didn't ask anybody to support us on that. We put up that money ourselves out of our pockets, myself and Raphael. But if you would like to help support the efforts of Black Family Technology Awareness Association, we would be glad to receive donations at bftaa.org. So if you go to that website, www.bftaa.org, you can make a donation, and that doesn't go towards the river race because we've already paid for that, but that goes towards helping our kids with technology throughout the year as we buy drones, as we buy robots, as we get our kids in classes and have them out there working. We actually feed them when they come in on Saturdays too. So to help support the organization, we would appreciate your donation. But next year, we'll ask that you help support the MR340 as well. So, as part of our fundraising race, we're going to be going down the river. The big wheels will keep on turning. So, be sure and follow the BFTAA boat and Raphael's. I'll have both of those boat numbers up for you. And you can follow us on this adventure as we go across Missouri by kayak. All right. So we always talk about things that are going on with STEM, with technology, what we're doing in the city and what's going on around the world. Well, another thing that happens is NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. They are constantly doing things. They're experimenting. They have deep space probes that have been flying for a decade and sending back information, and they're doing launches yearly or multiple launches a year, and the space station that's out there. So one thing about NASA is it's a research and development organization. It's mainly research, space exploration, and flight. So they study flight here on Earth with the planes and balloons and things we have and the weather. But they also are exploring space and developing ways for us to go farther and do more in outer space. So we're going to go up and see what's happening on space to ground. this week at NASA. Hasn't put out anything in a couple of weeks, so we're not sure if that will be continuing or what's going on with them. They may just be busy. But right now, let's go to Space to Ground with NASA.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Sandra Jones. Science and spacewalk preparations kept the crew aboard the International Space Station busy this week. On Monday, NASA astronauts Tracy Dyson and Mike Barrett will exit the station's Quest airlock to complete the removal of a faulty electronics box called a radio frequency group from a communications antenna on the starboard truss of the space station. The pair also will collect samples for analysis to understand the ability of microorganisms to survive and reproduce on the exterior of the orbiting laboratory. Dyson will serve as Spacewalk Crew Member 1 and will wear a suit with red stripes. Barrett will serve as Spacewalk Crew Member 2 and will wear an unmarked spacesuit. U.S. Spacewalk 90 will be the fourth spacewalk for Dyson and the first for Barrett. A second spacewalk to remove and replace a gyroscope assembly, relocate an antenna, and prepare for future alpha magnetic spectrometer upgrades is scheduled for Tuesday, July 2nd. Following the completion of the first spacewalk, NASA will announce participating crew members and provide additional coverage details for U.S. Spacewalk 91. You can watch the spacewalk live on NASA Television, NASA Plus, the NASA app, YouTube, and the agency's website. Back inside the space station, science continues aboard the orbiting lab. NASA astronaut and pilot of the recently arrived NASA's Boeing Starliner spacecraft, Sunny Williams, worked on the solid fuel ignition and extinction material ignition and suppression test, also known as SOFIE MIST. This investigation examines thermally assisted burning in microgravity by varying parameters, including airflow speed, oxygen concentration, pressure, and level of external radiation. Results could improve understanding of early fire growth behavior and validate models for material flammability, helping to inform selection of safer materials for future space facilities and determine the best methods for extinguishing fires in space. Just like on Earth, it's important to know what supplies you have available, and one NASA astronaut stepped through inventory procedures to do just that. NASA astronaut and commander of NASA's Boeing Starliner spacecraft Butch Wilmore conducted inventory of the Human Research Facility 2, or HRF-2. The facility provides an on-orbit laboratory that enables human life science researchers to study and evaluate the psychological, behavioral, and chemical changes induced by spaceflight. Research performed using HRF-2 provides data to help scientists understand how the human body adapts to long-duration spaceflight. NASA and Boeing are now targeting no earlier than June 26th for the landing of the Starliner spacecraft. To continue to follow along with the Starliner mission and its latest updates, be sure to check out nasa.gov and the Space Station blog. But for now, that's Space to Ground for this week. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
All right. So that was Space to Ground. Yeah, that's an interesting thing that they're studying and looking at is what happens if a fire was to break out on that space station. How would you put it out and things like that. So those are things that don't just affect them, but as we have the missions going to the moon, and they're talking about building a station on the moon that will be permanent for experimentation and for future travel to Mars, then they'll need to know things like that, because if you have a big facility, it's not guaranteed that a fire is going to break out, but you need to be prepared in case it does, so that, because you can't run for help when you're up in space. You're going to have to handle things right there. If you saw the movie The Martian, you got to see some of the scenarios that could happen in space, and how this guy had to really be resourceful in staying alive and finding ways to solve problems right there with the things that he had right on hand, because there's no calling for some new supplies or going to the store or anything like that. You've got to work with the things you have. On Apollo 13, it was the same thing. They had an explosion on our Apollo 13 launch for the moon. If you watched that movie and saw that they had to figure out how to get that spaceship back, how to get that capsule back with the 3 astronauts on board, and all they could use were the things that they took with them. You know, they had to figure it out. First, they had to figure out what happened, and then how do we, fix all the problems. So it's good that they're studying, they're looking at ways and things that they can do, materials that maybe wouldn't burn as easily, and if something does start burning, how do you put it out? So always looking for different avenues and staying abreast. As the Boy Scout model says, we want to be prepared for whatever may happen. So that was a good bit of information on Space to Ground and what they're doing out there. So yeah, you've got to see that. You've got to see about the MR340, which is a race that we will be entering, and we want you to come. We also let you know that on Thursday, come down to City Hall, not in City Hall, but to Ilas W. Park. Ilas W. Davis is park, and that's named after one of our former mayors, on 12th Street, right in front of City Hall. Come down. There's going to be, or is it on the backside of City Hall? No, that's in front of City Hall. I guess the park there. But come down. There's going to be a Juneteenth celebration, but we'll be down there with some of our STEM activities that we like to promote around the city as we can, to get people involved and to get families involved in technology. So we want you to come out. That'll be Thursday. It's in the daytime, so if you have the kids, they're out of school, summertime's going on, you're looking for something to do, bring them down to City Hall for Juneteenth celebration right there in downtown Kansas City. So that'll be happening this Thursday, June the 27th. And then Saturday, we'll get you some more information. Go to our website or our Facebook page to see some more information, or go to We Code KC page about Kids Tech Day that's going to be happening this Saturday at Bartle Hall. A lot of things for kids to do, to see, to be involved with. A lot of the local organizations that are working with our young people will be down there with demonstrations, with ways for you to sign up to enroll your kid, or for you to get involved in helping. We're always looking for more parents and more volunteers to help with our young people, to help with our technology. Everybody says that the kids should be doing more. Well, we should be doing more to help the kids do more. And it's a rewarding activity. I was talking to a couple of brothers at our church that work with the track team, and they were talking about how busy they were at the track meet they had to go to last weekend, and they took the kids out of town. They spent a couple of days down. They worked, they ran, they performed. But to see the growth in the young people, to see them having fun, to experience and see something different than just the 3 miles around their house around here in Kansas City, that's a rewarding feeling. So it's not just helping the kids, but you'll be surprised at how much better you feel if you help out our young people. You know, we can talk about the things that they do wrong. We can talk about what they're not doing. But what are we helping them to do? We should all be helping young kids in some way. Everybody's not going to be a coach. Everybody's not going to be a technology major, but everybody can do something. If it's just to fix sandwiches, to bring by, to feed kids when they're out of town, to help raise money to support it. It costs money to take these kids out of town, to take a team. We took a robotics team, and we didn't even spend the night just taking them down, but buying lunch and feeding them, and the carpooling and all of that. That's money, and we've had a lot of adults, a lot of family members that have joined in, rode kids in, that weren't theirs in cars down. Some people that didn't have kids were taking kids to robotics competitions. That's what you call community. That's the village that makes everything work. We have to learn to start helping out not just our family, but the whole family in Kansas City, the whole family of kids, because all of these kids are our kids. They are our future. We should be willing to step up to the plate and help to provide opportunities for our young people, not just looking for government to do it, not just looking for the schools to do it, but for us to do it. We've got churches, community organizations, clubs, fraternities, all kind of groups that should be working with kids, and a lot of them do. Our fraternities and sororities are out there all the time. A lot of our churches are working with youth to no end, providing great opportunities for. But we need to have more. You know, I know that there are more people that could be doing things and that we should be doing things. So step up and volunteer. Come down to Kids Tech Day this Saturday at Bartle Hall. Yes, if you don't know the times or want some more information, contact We Code KC. We Code KC. Miss Tammy Buckner has a fantastic staff that is putting this event on. And if you go to We Code KC, or you can hit us up on Facebook, we'll be glad to get information to you. This is going to be a great time. And there should be a lot of kids of color at this event. You know, we don't want to say that, well, we weren't invited. You're invited. There are going to be organizations of a color and of majority population down there. But we want to make sure that our kids take advantage of every opportunity that is provided for them. And we want to get more opportunities for them to take advantage of. But when you go to these events out of town, when you go to some of these big events, you see a lack of people of color, young people of color. And some of it is it's expensive. Sometimes they just don't know. Sometimes it's equipment and all of those other things. But we've got to start getting out to these things, because a lot of times it's the people aren't saying you can't come. No. But the finances may seem like it's a little daunting. But we can overcome that. We, as a people, spend trillions of dollars a year. We have money. We have funds. It's just, what are our priorities? Where do we want to direct those funds? Nothing's wrong with going to see Beyonce and Taylor Swift, but we also ought to think about how we can help somebody else out also, how we can help our community, our children out. So that's my soapbox. You know, I get on that from time to time, but just glad that I can be here and share with you from time to time. If there's something you want to know about the Black Family Technology Awareness Association or KUAW Radio, which is knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, we'd like to hear from you. You can call us at 816-599-6893. That's 816-599-6893. You can also reach us, KUAW 985 at sbcglobal.net, no, at gmail.com, excuse me, KUAW985 at gmail.com. You can go to our Facebook page, which is KUAW-radio, our YouTube page, KUAW Space Radio, or our Twitter account or X account, which is KUAW_radio. So pick us up on any of those, send us messages, type in what you want to hear, what you want to do, what you think about the organization, and we'll be glad to work with you. We also want to encourage you to listen to and support the other shows that are on KUAW Radio. The local people who are coming out, taking out of their time, spending their money to help bring information that they feel is important to the people of Kansas City. One of those people is going to be joining us at 6 o'clock right here. That's B. Michael Long with Shifting Paradigm. So I hope that you will stay tuned, stay around, and check out B. Michael Long and Shifting Paradigms, which will be starting up at 6 p.m. right here, KUAW Radio. And through the week, we have other shows. We have a sports show that comes on Thursday. That is a really great show. So if you want to keep up on the Chiefs, the Royals, the Negro League Baseball, even it's been talked about soccer and other sports, basketball, check us out on Thursday for Any Given Sunday. Any Given Sunday, Thursday at 6 p.m. I'll be right here. And on Tuesdays, you can check out The Source of the Inkwell with Tyrone Gathers, a local teacher and author and poet who is on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Or is it 7 p.m.? It's 7 p.m. that he comes in. 7 p.m. on Tuesday. So come out and check that out. So there's a lot of shows also on Saturday mornings. We have Wake Up KC with Pastor Elry Canty and Dr. Cheryl Canty. And we have Wave Your Grades with Carl Boyd. So those are shows that are locally produced and aired, and we want you to take advantage of them. People in other cities are watching and listening, and we want you to join the audience. Also, if you want to hear the best in blues around the city, on the weekend, we're right here. Check out Rosine Bailey with Blues Time in the City. Blues Time in the City comes on a couple of times on Saturday and Sunday. I run it a couple of times, so you can check it out. Then there's also the Blues Show. We have a Blues Hour that comes on, so you can check out blues on Saturday. We have Professor Smooth Jazz, who's playing smooth jazz on Thursday and Fridays. We have Heavy Storm, the Heavy Storm music, which is sort of the smooth, sensuous music that comes on Friday and Saturday night. So check out some of the shows that we have on here, some of the music that we're playing. We also have some of Scatter's old school jams that come on, and they support the B.J. Murphy Show through on a daily basis from noon till 3. From noon to 3, Monday through Friday. Check out Scatter's old school jams. That's right. So we got a lot of shows for you. We have a lot of fun, and we enjoy doing it. So get in touch with us. We'll be glad to see you, and we thank you for joining us today. That's it for the show today. Be sure and join us again at 5 o'clock, 5 to 5:45 for the BFTAA and more show. So we're going to go out of here with letting you see a little bit more. Well, let's see. Well, we'll let you see the same thing, the MR340 boat race that we're going to be in next month. Next month, we want you to cheer us on that we're going to take a kayak, 2 kayaks that are going to be going down the river for BFTAA, and they will be leaving from Call Point Park, heading to St. Louis, 340 miles. Yours truly will be the captain of one, and Raphael I'll have to get the pronunciation of his last name, but he's a great guy. He's going with me. So it's 2 of us from Kansas City that'll be representing the Black Family Technology Awareness Association on the Missouri River 340 race that'll be happening in July. July 23rd, we push off from Carl Point in Kansas City, Kansas, and won't be finished until we get to St. Louis, Missouri. All right, that's it for me, and I'll put that on so you can see a little bit more of it, and then we'll check with you again next Monday.
How to open your car door while submerged underwater. A fatal construction flaw in all recent automobiles makes it virtually impossible to...
Welcome everybody to the MR340.
2022 marks the 17th year for the MR340. Nearly 500 boats set out to attempt the grueling 340 miles this year. And every year the race attracts paddlers from dozens of states and several countries.
All over the globe, people have come to race the Missouri River, which is awesome.
But it all began as an idea scribbled on some paper by race founder Scott Mansker.
Probably for about 10 years before 2006, I just had this idea on a legal pad, right? Just, why is there not a canoe race on the Missouri River? We have the perfect place to start it, and we got all these towns, checkpoint to checkpoint. Why isn't anybody putting this together? And then finally in 2006, I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna go until I hit a brick wall. I don't know how to put on a race, but I'm just going to go until I can't figure it out.
It's the longest nonstop paddling race in the world, and it's grown into the massive event we see today.
The first year we only had 11 boats. The next year I capped it at 75 because I thought, well, we can't we can't even fit 75 boats at KUAW Point, can we? I mean, is there room for 75 boats? So we metered that growth. And so, you know, then you go to 150. Well, okay, that worked. Let's try 300. Okay, well, 300 worked. Well, where does this, and we kind of feel like 500 is sort of where we reach a limit of sorts.
Ansgar fell in love with this river more than 30 years ago.
The first time I ever got on the Missouri River was in '89 on a homemade raft that me and some friends built as 20-year-old college kids, and put it in and just drifted down the river for 5 days, and I was absolutely hooked. I mean, it was all I could think about.
And since then, he's found ways to spread that love across Kansas City and through the MR340 around the world.
You know, we're all about getting people to understand and make contact with the Missouri River, whatever that looks like, paddling, helping clean it up, fishing.
This is the first race where he didn't serve as race director. Instead, he helps coordinate safety boats now.
It's the best possible retirement you could want, like, because they haven't kicked me out.
As the nonprofit Missouri River Relief fully takes over the reins.
Through a lot of, you know, late night chats right here at KUAW Point, the night before races over the years, we finally figured out a way for it to make sense. And now I feel like the race is in the best hands it could be in.
They have the resources to make this race a permanent fixture of our city and of the Missouri River.
This race will be happening long after I'm gone, and that's really gratifying to know that.